Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, How to Segment Your Email List in Constant Contact. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Let's get in here. All right, so now before we dive into our session today, I wanted to let you know about all the tools that we have available to get your online marketing on track. We have tools for creating great looking email marketing campaigns, easy to use email automation and welcome emails, list growth tools to help you to grow your list, digital ads for Google, Facebook, and Instagram to help you to find new customers and even build your email list. There's the ability to stay on top of your social media efforts. You can create posts and reply to your social messages as well. Also, our SMS text marketing, which you can add onto your plan in order to expand your marketing reach even further. And our events platform that will allow you to promote and manage all of your events and so much more. We have all these great tools, features, and our expert guidance that you need to help you to succeed all in one place. So let's dive into today's session. Now, people often ask us how they can get better results from their email marketing efforts. Well, there are many factors that can play into this. Sending the right messages to the right people is one of the most effective ways. It allows you to create relevant messages that catches each person's attention and encourages them to take the action that you want them to take. Now, times have really changed when it comes to email marketing. Email blasts to your entire list at once are a thing of the past. In order to get better results and create those relevant messages, segmentation or creating smaller groups of contacts with one or more like commodities is the best way to go. Now, people who receive relevant emails personalized to their interests leads to less unsubscribes, more action, more engagement, and six times higher transaction rates. In turn, this allows you to build relationships so people will be more inclined to keep coming back and doing business with you and even refer you to their family and friends. Now, while the thought of segmenting your list can seem time consuming and overwhelming, there are things that you can do in constant contact that I'm going to show you today to help you to save time in this process. I'm going to be providing you with some tips and ideas for your own segmentation strategy and talk about the tools in your account that you can use to manage your list. If you spend some time now to segment your contact list, your email marketing efforts will be more productive moving forward so that you can really get the results that you want to get. Now, let's get started and take a look at what we're going to be discussing today. So, today we're going to be talking about strategies that you can use to manually segment your list based on business needs and contact details, ideas and tips on getting your subscribers to self segment, how to automatically create segments based on contact details. Now, throughout the session, I'm going to log into a live constant contact account to show you these tools and how to use them effectively. Now, before we dive in any further, please allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Candy. I'm a personal marketing specialist here with Constant Contact. I've been with the company over 15 and a half years now. So I've seen it all from the two little products that we started with the plethora of products that we have available today. And I'm super excited to bring my experience to the session. So let's jump into the webinar here. One second, let me get this started. All right, so let's get started with taking a look at some basic strategies to manually segment based on business needs and contact details. Now, when you're first getting started with segmentation, it's important to have a plan and to figure out a strategy that will make the most sense for your business or organization and your audience. Remember, it's all about them receiving relevant information that keeps them engaged and taking action. And once you've determined your strategy, you can start to split customers into lists that are relevant to them. So let's take a look at a few different types of businesses and the ways that they can segment. For a retail business specifically, there are several effective strategies. You could segment by the products that they've purchased in order to send them out more information about those specific products or to target them when you're having a sale on that product. You could create a group based on products that they've clicked on in your emails, again, in order to target with specific products as well. Repeat customers could get a separate message from new customers, allowing you to change your message based on how familiar they are with your products. Another great option would be of a group of those who had a recent purchase to send out a thank you message and follow up with additional information. And it's always a good idea to keep in touch with those who are most engaged and make sure that you're reaching out to those who have not been as engaged as well. Just make sure that you're putting your name top of mind. Now, when it comes to real estate, some ideas on a segment are based on whether somebody's a buyer, a seller, or a real estate agent to tailor your message or your communication, the timeline in which your clients are looking to purchase, again, in order to target with specific properties. The price range somebody's looking to buy is also a great way to target with specific properties. Geography, where are they looking to buy? Another great one for certain properties. And the most and least engaged as well, in order to adjust your message to stay top of mind and to re engage. Now, for nonprofits, some ideas would be to create groups for your volunteers, donors, and even segment by donor level, those interested in your services, like those interested in adoption from a nonprofit animal shelter, for an example, those interested in news and updates and stories about the impact of their donation and the different programs that the nonprofit provides. And like the other industries, it's important to target the most engaged and least engaged contacts as well to keep people invested based on their interest level. Now, those are some great examples that may even inspire you if you have a different type of business. Some of the things to think about, though, in your segmentation strategy do include things like demographics, like age, income, or even marital status. You could also segment based on geographic information, which is especially helpful if you host local events, have different stores or locations, or even service certain areas. You might segment based on zip code, city, or even state. And then last but not least is behaviors and actions they take from your emails or even your business or organization, like making a purchase or even donating to your cause. You could segment based on the products or the services they purchased, how much they purchased, and even their buying or donation frequency. Now, if they've taken action like booking an appointment, making a purchase, or making a donation, it's showing you a lot about their interest. And you can segment based on this data manually, but I'm also going to be showing you some time saving ways to do it automatically in just a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to log into a live constant contact account to show you how to organize your contacts manually using these suggestions. So let me jump into a live account here. Let's see, here we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my contacts page. And this is the process we're going to do is adding your contacts in with a file. So let me go ahead and go over here to contacts. Now, if your view looks a little bit different than this, you may have one that your menu goes across the top of the page. It's going to be the same process. It's just a different view. So what we're going to do here is come over here to go to all contacts. Now we are going to upload a file, and this is going to be the best and most efficient way to get contacts added with existing data and details that you need in order to create your segmented groups. So I'm going to go ahead and show you first my Excel file so you can see what it looks like and how to have it mapped out. So let me bring this up here. So as you can see, I have the first name, last name, I have email, I have phone number, I have the zip code, I have the birthday in here, and a field of my own called membership status. That way I can kind of send out birthday emails. I can target based on the client's relationship with my business. But the key thing is you do want to make sure that everyone is in their own columns. That's number one. They all need to be separated out into each in their own columns. All right, so I'm going to close that down. And now in order to get that file uploaded, I'm going to come over here and go to add contacts over on the top right. And then I'm going to choose upload from a file. So once I click on that, it's going to then prompt me to browse my computer and find my file. All right, so then I'm going to click on this where it says upload. So I'm going to search my computer. And it's this one right here. So I'll bring that in. And then I have the green check mark that says it accepted my file. So now I just got to go over here and click on continue. And I'm going to go through the steps. So now we're going to be on step number 2, which is we need to map out our fields. So what that means is we need to make sure that they're all labeled correctly. Now, I would encourage you to upload any information that you have for your customers. And the more information that you have saved, the better that you can segment and manage your list. Again, in addition to the email, in my case, I have their first name, their last name, phone number, zip code, birthday, and the membership status so that I can use that information later to send out a birthday email or to target different groups of people based on their membership status. So some of my columns are already matched up. First name had already grabbed that information. Now, the one that is not correct down here is this one here at the bottom where it says membership status. I don't know why it grabbed website because it didn't have that on there. So you do want to be looking through it, making sure they are correct and making sure our system recognizes it. Now, what I'm going to do is I need to create my own field because this is not a constant contact field. It's a personalized field for me. So in order to create that custom field, what I need to do is click over here on that drop down and it brings up where it says create a custom field. Once I click on that, I'm going to create a custom field called membership status. So that grab this here because that's what my title bar is labeled. So it's great. It brings up it already. So you don't have to, oh, you shouldn't have to type it in. It's already here. Now with the field type, there's only 2 options for you. It's either going to be a text field or a date field. So it's pretty straightforward. This is a text field, so I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to save my custom field. And you only have to do that once. So the next time you upload your file and it has that field in there, it's going to recognize it because we have the field created. All right, so now that I have everything mapped out, I then need to go to continue. Now I have to say, yes, I have permission. And I'm going to put them in a list. So if you don't put them in a list, it's going to automatically put them in some random list with a file name. So I want to add them into my own list. So I'm going to create a list called membership list. So in order to do that, I'm going to type it in here. And because it's not already in my account, I need to come here and click on create a new one. So once I do that, again, you only have to do it that one time because then it will be in that drop down. So my list is selected. I'm not going to do tags or anything like that right now. I'm just going to add those contacts into that membership list. So my last step here is go up here on the right and go to import. And now I have that list uploaded. And you should get a message up here that tells you what happened with that file. But if I come over to list here, I'm going to see that my membership list is right here and the date that I added it and created it. Now that we have this in here, we can start to move contacts around and we could put them into different groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead of time and I'm going to create all of my lists that I want to have in my account. Then I'm going to start moving people around to those particular lists. So what we're going to do is click on create a list right here, and I'm going to create all of my lists. So let's say that I'm a nonprofit pet adoption shelter, and I want to have a few different lists of people that I'm going to be targeting. Now, in order to create those separate lists, this is where I'm going to click is on the create a list here, and I'm going to name on my list. That way I can kind of determine, who's interested in adoption, who's interested in volunteering and so forth. So what I'm going to do is put my first list in here, and I do already have it written out. I'm just going to go and copy it. And I have an adoption list. So I'm going to save that one. And then I'm not going to add any contacts in now. I'm just going to create my list ahead of time. So I'm just going to come over here and go back to list. And then I'm going to click on create a list again. And I'm just going to go through these steps here of creating my next one. This one's volunteer opportunities. And then I'm going to go and do another one. And this one is going to be just newsletter. And then my final one would be board members. All right, create a list and my board members list. All right, so now I have all my lists created. So as you can see, you can create a list as you're uploading your contacts, or you can do it ahead of time. So they're there and then you just select your list. All right, so now that I have them in here, I'm going to start to manually move some contacts around. So, as an example, let's say that this nonprofit has already added in all their contacts in the account, like we just did, but we want to start separating them out into these separate lists that we just created. So they have a small group of board members that they want to send out emails separately, like they're sending out board meeting minutes or something like that. That wouldn't go to your overall list. It's going to go to those particular people. So I need to move those contacts into that list. In order to do that, what I can do is I'm going to go back to the list, be on that main page, and I can search for a contact. So if I click on contacts here, I can search for somebody that I know is a board member. So right down here where it says filter by membership status, I'm going to change that over here and I'm going to change it to name or email. And I'm going to search by someone's name. So I'm going to search Jack Smith. So it's going to pull up a bunch of my Jack Smiths that I have. And this one is Jack Smith at petadoption.com. So he's a board member. So all I need to do is click on his box, come up here to actions, click on add to list, and then I'm going to select my board member list. And then I'm going to add them. So now it doesn't take it out of that main list. It's just now adding him into this separate list. All right, so that's how I can do one at a time by searching for that contact. And I can also add in a bunch of them at once, so I can go ahead and just repeat that process. So in order to do a bunch of them, I'm going to go back to my list. I'm going to just open up my list that I just brought in. So if I click open that, here's all my contacts. So I could say this person's a board member, this one, let's say this one. Those are my board members. So I just select them. Then I'm going to come up here, go to actions, and I'm going to go to add to list. Same process. I'm going to add them to my board member list. If I want to remove them, same thing. So say this person's no longer a board member. I just select your email address from any view, whether it's from here, it's in her list, or from the contacts page directly. All I do is I select her box to the left of her email. I go to actions, and then I remove her from the list. When I do that, it's going to prompt me what list do I want to remove her from. And I'm just going to say board member list, and then I'm going to remove her. So that's taking her out of my board member list, but she's still in her regular list or any other list that she's a part of. So now I have that done. All right, and you could do something similar. For an example, like if you know somebody that just made a purchase in your store, you could move them from your main list to a list that says purchase products and get them into that list. So there's other ways that you can utilize that. And we could also do a search by any additional fields that we've uploaded to tag a group of contacts as well in order to target them. Now, tags are a way to create a sublist of contacts out of your overall contact list. And you can think of your contact list as like a container that holds a group of contacts together, whereas tags are more like labels that tell you something about your contact. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and click on the top right to filter to my contacts page. So if I click on here, I'm going to just come over here and I'm just going to go back to the main page here. So I'm going to be on my contacts tab. So I'm on my contacts page and I can search by certain criteria. So I want to target contacts that have canceled their membership to try to re-engage with them. So what I'm going to do here, just the same spot where I clicked on to search by someone's name, I'm going to search by one of the categories that I've uploaded. So if I select the name or email, I'm going to then choose membership status. And then in here, I'm going to just type in cancel. So this is going to show anybody that has canceled membership in their detailed information under that field that we uploaded that said membership status. So these people, I'm going to select them all and I'm going to create a tag for them. So in here, what I'm going to do is click on actions and I'm going to go add tags. And then I'm going to start typing. So I'm going to just say canceled membership. Now, because it's not already here in my contacts page, I'm going to click on this here where it says create a new one. And again, you only have to do that one time. Once it's there, you'll be able to select it from the drop down, and then it'll show this one here that says we've added these 4 contacts with that tag. Then I just come here, click on add tags. That is it. So now if I went to like this contact I'm going to see that they're tagged right here with canceled membership. So I can send them out a promotion without everybody else getting it. All right, so now let me go ahead and close out of there. So again, now with this tag, I can easily create an email campaign with a promotion for them to renew their membership, and I can send it directly to them without worrying that people with an active membership are going to be receiving it. And I can also exclude a tag when I'm sending out an email to everybody that has an active membership, for an example. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little bit. So, one last thing that I do want to mention is if you don't have a lot of information for your contacts yet in order to set up these lists and tags, we do have a survey campaign that you can create in your account. And the survey will allow you to create a questionnaire to send out to your contacts to collect information. And you can then use the reports you get back with those survey results to manually create your list in your tags based on whatever information that you collect and then add it to your contacts information. And for more information on surveys and their reporting, you can check out the handout that we have in that handouts tab on the right side of your screen. All right, so at this point, you have the knowledge to begin segmenting your list and then know how to do that manually within your constant contact account. We're going to go on to the next feature here. So let me go back in here. So now we're going to move on and talk about some things that you can do to save you time and effort by getting your contacts to segment themselves. Now, this is where you can ask your new or existing contacts to choose what information that they want to receive and collect information to help you to segment your list. So there are a couple of methods that we're going to be talking about today. So I like to start at the very beginning when somebody first joins your list. Let me ask you all a question. How many of you are currently using some type of sign up form on your website? And you can let me know in the Q&A tab. So whether it's our sign up form or you're using your own sign up form, go ahead and let me know in the questions and answers window if you would, please. All right, let's see here. All right, so Crystal has a sign up form. Walter has a pop up sign up form. Michael has one, but it's not through Constant Contact. That's okay. As long as we're collecting those names, that is okay. That's the goal. All right, let's see. Mary Lou has it. Jonathan has one. All right, awesome. So you're seeing it. That is fantastic. This is going to be a great opportunity to gain information from your subscribers right when they begin the relationship with you. So this is where you can ask them what kind of content they want to receive from you. Now, with Constant Contact, you can add multiple email lists to your sign up form. They can choose to sign up to one of them or all of them, and they're going to be automatically added to those lists within your Constant Contact account without any manual work from you. Now, with this strategy, a retail business could give their prospects the option to choose from specific products that they're interested in, what content they want to receive, like sales or promotions versus new products and updates. Or if there's multiple locations, they could choose the one that's closest to them. Now, this is an example from an outdoor retailer. So they're letting people choose interests such as camping, hiking, kayaking, or skiing. And they can choose one or all, and they're only going to be counted as one contact, which is fantastic. You don't have to worry about having duplicates in your account. Now, a real estate agent could allow their contacts to indicate whether they're a first-time home buyer, buying an investment property, selling, or just looking for news, updates, or even market reports. And a nonprofit could give their supporters the option right from the beginning to indicate whether they're interested in using the services, wanting to donate, receive news and updates, or even just volunteer within the organization. The possibilities are endless. Just remember, you do want to keep your form as short as possible, so only add like 3 or 4 lists for them to choose from. You don't want your sign up process to be overwhelming, and you can always collect more information later. Now, another great way to learn from your existing subscribers is paying attention to where they click in your emails. This next suggestion is great because when somebody clicks a link in your email, you know they're interested in that topic. So when you implement the click segmentation tool in Constant Contact, the contact will automatically be added to a list that you've chosen right when they click on it. Now, in this example from Southside Cycling, they sent this email to promote their cycling club to their unsegmented general interest list. And they've included um, a button for people to find out more about it. Now, when people click on it, they're going to be automatically taken to a page on their website where with more information on the club, and then behind the scenes, they're going to automatically be added to a cycling club prospect list in your Constant Contact account. Now, this is really valuable information to Southside Cycling because they know that people who are part of the club end up spending more than those who haven't joined. And this allows them to begin sending additional information about the cycling club to this list of contacts to further promote the club. Now, for those of you who don't know how to start segmenting your list or who have a lot of contacts, this is a great opportunity to start segmenting your list without a ton of effort from you. And click segmentation can be used in a variety of different scenarios. Just curious, how many of you currently send out an email newsletter that includes a few different topics? Go ahead and let me know in that Q&A tab if you send out an email with more than one topic in it. All right, let's see. I'm seeing a bunch of people saying yes, one to, or usually two to three. Okay, Michael. Let's see, what else do we have? Jacqueline has more than one. We have Stephen has more than one. David usually does about two to three topics in his email. Perfect. Awesome. So as you can see, when people click on things, it's they're interested in it. So when you use that click segmentation, it's going to be great for the scenario. So you can send your newsletter that includes a link for each topic to read more or to purchase your product or whatever it is. And then when that subscriber clicks on a link, they're going to be added to that particular list in your Constant Contact account. Then you can send out focused messages to each of those individual lists. Now, in this particular example, they could send out follow up emails to those interested in website redesign, such as promotions about their web design service and other valuable content on optimizing the client's website. And then for anybody who clicked on that second article to read more, they could send additional information just to those people about their social media management services, as well as the benefits of using social media for their small business. Now, one other example is a yoga studio. They could direct them to a page to sign up for a type of class that they're interested in, along with information on that class. Then behind the scenes, contacts are going to be added into a list of that particular class when they click on it. The yoga studio can then send out additional supporting information on each of the classes, what to expect, and how to get the most out of the classes that they're interested in. And you can set up something similar, simply to learn from your audience. You might include links in an email to different topics, products, services, or even classes. All right, so now I'd like to log back into our Constant Contact account to show you how to set up these self segmentation strategies with the tools in your account. So let me go ahead and grab that. All right, so let's see here. So I'm going to go back in. All right, so the very first thing that I'm going to work on is it's a very effective way is to have them segment right from the beginning of the relationship with your business or your organization. And this is to create a sign up form with the option for customers to choose what list they want to be on. So we're going to go right to the sign up form. So to get there, it's going to be under audience growth here. So if I click on that, it has sign up forms right here. So I'm going to click on the sign up forms. And then when I click on that, it's going to prompt me to create a sign up form. All right. So over here on the right, it says create a new sign up form. We're going to click on that. Then it pulls up this window here with different options of different types of forms. Today, we're going to click on a pop up and do a pop up form. The flyout, banner, and inline sign up forms, they're very similar. Basically, the difference is the placement of where they are on the website. They're created the same. So I'm going to click on pop up form. So what will happen is this form, once you create it, it's going to be added to your website. And when somebody goes to your website, it's going to pop up so they can join your mailing list. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start top to bottom and we're going to give it a name and work our way through. So I'm just going to call it, let's see. And I do recommend naming it because sometimes, I mean, I know my clients, they have a couple of different ones that maybe they want to use for promotions or they have a sale going on and they want to attract people with that form. You can do that. So I'm just going to give this a name. And this one, just for testing purposes, it's just going to be today is the 25th. So it's just sign up form with today's date for me. And I'm going to save it. Then we're going to work our way down through here and just design our form. So I'm just going to click on title and I'm going to just create a little bit more than what's there. And I'm not going to get into too in depth on how to create a sign up form. We do have another webinar in that, but for time purposes, I'm just going to go slightly, and quickly through it so you can get the idea. But just to show you, if I wanted to change out my text color, which I will do because that's easy, I'm going to change it to my branding. So I'm going to put that in here. And that's what that'll do right here. Then I'm going to go to the next page and I'm going to do my description. And the description is where you want to get a little bit more lengthy and tell them what they're signing up for. So this one, instead of get news from CTCT webinars in your inbox, very boring, you're not enticing them to do anything. I'm going to say sign up to receive more information on the adoption process, volunteer opportunities, and our news. Let us know below to be included on our monthly update. So that's enticing them, letting them know what's going on. Again, you can change the color. I like leaving it black because I think that black will pop out on the background here. So I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to go to the back arrow. And now I'm going to go to my contacts field. So I like collecting their first name because then you can make your emails personalized. So I'm going to select the first name and I am going to make the first name required. Then you could come down here and say you want to have their birthday. You can put the birthday here. If you need to know what city they're in, you could put that, or what state they're in. You could put that information. The one thing that I do recommend is don't have too much information. Again, you don't want to make it overwhelming. You don't want people to back out of it, especially if you have a lot of things required. People tend to don't like doing that, so they'll just back out and not sign up. So the minimal stuff that you have on here, the better. But I do like doing the first name, so I can make my emails personal. So I have that there. All right. So then I'm going to go to the next step here, and I'm going to go to the important one here, which is our list. This is how they're going to segment. So if I click on email list, I'm going to add in my list. So I'm going to do, let's see, I want my newsletter list. I want to have my, let's see, volunteer list. And let's see, I want to also have, I have one more list in here. So we have newsletter. I have to find it. Sorry, there's a lot in here. Ah, here it is, adoption. All right, so now, and it does put it in order. So I have my adoption, I have newsletter and volunteer opportunities. And again, they can sign up to one or all, and it will only be one contact. All right, so now that I have that part done, I'm going to go to the back arrow. And you can change these up as well. Like the button here, I can change this blue to my purple. So I can put my branding on it. So I'm just going to go here and make that purple. And you can change what it says for sign up. I like sign up. It's pretty straightforward. And the text color is white. It looks good on that background. So I'm just going to leave that. And also, if you wanted to change the background here is white, but you can see what it does if you change it. It changes that whole background. I strongly recommend, if you are going to use a color, to make sure you can read your form. Sometimes I see it out there where it's so hard to even tell what it says. So you're better off just keeping it white with that black lettering so it pops out and stands out on your page. But again, if you are, just make sure you can read it. All right, so now I have everything done. I can then go ahead and publish it. So what I'm going to do is come up here and click on publish. And now my pop-up sign-up form is created. And this is something that we're going to make sure that we add onto our website. So the contacts will be added to that particular list right from the beginning. And for more information on the sign-up forms and installing them on different website platforms, you can check out the handout under the Handouts tab for additional information on how to create those sign-up forms. All right, so now one other way that contacts can self-segment is through our click segmentation feature. Now, as I mentioned, this will automatically add context to a list when they click on a particular link in your email. So, for an example, let's say that Jack's Fitness Studio is sending out an email to their unengaged customers who have canceled out their membership with a link to their website with more information on the membership. Now, when the click segmentation, what we're going to do is we're going to set it up to anybody that clicks on to get more information on that membership is going to be added to that particular list so that we can then target those contacts directly since they're interested in the membership. So, in order to do that, I'm going to go up to my marketing page where I've already created an email. So, you can just go to dashboard, you can click on all campaigns or go right to email. I'm going to go right to email and it's going to bring up the email that I was working on. All right, so let me see here. Let me grab that email. Let's see. It is this one. I'll make a copy of it. And I'm just going to call it today's date. All right, and then I'll save it. All right, I'm just going to remove the link so I can show you how to add it. Okay, so here's my email, and it's basically letting people know renew your membership and get 15% off. I'm enticing the people that have canceled their membership to come back. So, in order to do the click segmentation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on where it says sign up today. And I am going to come over here to where it has add a link. And I'm going to choose web page because I'm going to direct them back to my website. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my link. And I'm going to put my link in here to my website. And then here where it says enable click segmentation, this is where we're going to put that link to put them into that list. So if I click on that, it then brings up what list do I want to put these people to. So I'm going to create a new list called interested in membership. Let's see. And then I'm just going to click on here where it says create a list. And I'm going to create my list interested in membership. And then I'm going to hit create. So then anybody that clicks on that learn more or sign up today is going to automatically be put into that interested in membership list that is now created in my contacts tab in my account. All right, so then I could send that out. So I'm just going to hit save for now, and I'm going to show you how to send it out in just a moment. But then I have that in there. So now with these strategies, it's going to allow you to segment your list without a ton of effort from you. And you can set each of these up in just a few minutes. And when you add lists to your sign up form, people will automatically be added to that list that they choose right from the beginning. And these forms can also be used to collect other details that will allow you to segment your list. You could collect information through standard fields or create your own custom fields as well. And also make sure to implement the click segmentation tool because where contacts click in your emails is such valuable information to either begin segmenting your contacts or to further segment your email list if you've already been doing it for a while. All right, so now I'm going to go to my last feature here, and then I'm going to show you how to do all this after. So it's saved. I'm just going to go back to my dashboard. All right, so now I'm going to go over to that final piece here. Let me go ahead and bring this up. So now we're ready and move on to talk about using contact details to automatically segment. Now, today we've shown you several ways to segment your list to get better results, doing it manually and even getting your subscribers to segment themselves. Now, as you're sending more emails out through your account, you're collecting even more data that can be used to segment your list. And that's where this next tool comes into play. So with the segment tool in your account, you're going to be able to find pre-built segments like your most engaged, your least engaged contacts. And this is great for targeting with specific groups. Now, for an example, your most engaged, you want to treat those people like your VIP people. And then for the least engaged segment, you'd want to send out re-engagement campaigns and see what you could do differently. Now, in addition, you're going to be able to create customized groups of contacts using campaign engagement, contact information, list membership, and even purchase data from integrations such as Shopify, WooCommerce, Etsy. And the best part is that the segments that you create through this tool are going to automatically update each and every time. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and jump into a live constant contact account so I can show you how to do that. Let me go ahead and grab that here 1 second. I know I'm going over an awful lot and I am showing you all a lot, but you are going to get a recording of this later as well as the handout. So you'll be able to see it all again. All right, so now back on this page, we're going to go to the segment tool. Now, this is going to be a great way to manage existing contacts based on different criteria and activity. So let's say we want to do a few email campaigns targeting some of our most engaged customers. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come over to our contacts page where it says contacts here. I can just click right on that. I can click on like all contacts just to get us to the main page. And then I can click on segments. Now, again, we have an option to work with pre-built segments, and they're all right here. Most engaged, somewhat engaged, least engaged, and everybody else. Basically, everybody else hasn't received enough to get into to fall into one of those categories. So they just haven't gotten enough information. So you could also click on just send an email right from here to go to those particular groups. You could click on the three little dots here and you can view it or make a copy of it. So you're going to be able to just manage all of that. So now keep in mind that because opens are not 100% accurate, there may be some in these groups that are more or less engaged and indicated. These pre-built segments can be a great starting point. However, I recommend customizing the segment with other criteria. So we're going to create our own segment here to get us really detailed information of what we want to segment by. So all I'm going to do here to create my own segment is come over here and click on create a segment. I don't think I've ever used one of the other segments. We go right in and we create our own segment because then you could put in different criteria and different information. So it's labeled up here, segment created today's date. You can give it a different name, which we're going to call it VIP clients, which I'll just leave today's date, but I'm just going to do VIP clients. And then I have today's date here. And then I'm going to click on OK. So I'm naming what my segment is called. Then I'm going to build my segment. So the first thing that we need to do is click on add criteria. And the first criteria that we're going to do is activity. So I'm going to click on the activity here. And then I'm going to say opened. These are my VIP people. So I'm going to do opened. And then it says choose an operator. So I'm going to say what it is. So once I click on that, I'm going to say any email. So it's either a specific, any, or my last five. Because this is a test account, I'm just going to say any email. And then I'm going to also choose in the last year. So you can see here, you can do in between a certain date, or you can choose in the last 7 days, all the way down to 365 days. So I'm going to choose the year. And if I click on that, that's the first segment. And then I'm going to create more segments. So then I'm going to click here and add a criteria group. And this one is going to be list membership. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click list membership here. And then it says choose an operator. So I'm going to say it is on a certain list. So I'm going to say list membership is, and I'm going to give it what list I want to do. So it'll be this one. And then I can add another criteria group. So I'm going to click on this. And now I'm going to say I want contact information. So if I click on that, it then brings up some of these fields. And I'm going to say I want to know what state these people are in because I segment based on state. I need to know different locations. So I want to know what state they're in. And then here, choose an operator. An operator basically just means what does it, have in it, contains, ends with, starts with, so forth. I'm going to say starts with for my case because sometimes I might write out the word Massachusetts or I just might write MA. I might write MASS. So I'm going to say it starts with MA and I want my Massachusetts on here. So now I have that criteria. And just to kind of show you what else you can grab, if I click on add a criteria group again, you can do shopping activity. Like if you have your store connected, if you clicked on shopping activity, you can say what information do you want to gather from that shopping activity, like average spend per order, the first purchase date, number of orders somebody's placed or if they placed an order from you. So you have different things to click on here for the shopping activity. I'm going to close it out here because I only want to have that information. Basically, is they opened any email in the last year, they belong to this list, and they're from Massachusetts. Okay. Now that I have my criteria listed, I'm going to come up here and click on Save My Segment. All right, so it's searching now and it's grabbing all that data. This may take a moment, so I'm going to move out of this page. You can leave this page. It's still going to process that, and it tells you right here. So we don't need to sit here and wait for it to complete. It's going to do its job. But now what I want to show you how to do is I want to show you how to send to a segment. Now, in order to send your emails to the segmented list or the segments that you've created in your contacts, we're going to go through back to our marketing page and pick that email that we were working on earlier. So I'm going to go back to email, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to my scheduling page of that email that I was just working on, which is right here. So I could either click on it to get into the edit mode to go to my continue, or I could just come here and go to my continue page, my schedule. I've checked my email, everything is done. I've checked all my links. I'm ready to send this email out. So I can just click on schedule and get back in here. All right, so now you're going to see that I have the options to send it out to different groups. So I can do an email list or a segment. Now, if I want to do it through my tag of those canceled membership, which I was talking about earlier, this email is to entice them to join, right? So if I click on email list, I can then select my master list that I have them in. Let's see, or I can go, actually, I'm going to go to the one that I just uploaded today because I know they're in there. So let me see, where is that list? And this again is why it's important to label them. So here's my list. This is where I can narrow it down by that tag that I created. So I'm going to click on narrow by tag. And in here, you could either send to only people who are tagged with cancel membership or don't send to contacts who have that canceled membership. So for this one, I'm going to send it to them. So I'm going to click on canceled membership and I'm going to apply that filter. So now this is going to pull up remember there's 4 people that have a canceled membership. It's showing you 4 selected recipients from your list. Now, on the flip side, if we wanted to send it out to a segment, I can do that instead of a list. So in order to do it through that segment that I just created, I could then select segment here, and then I would click on segment, and you don't need to pick a list when you're doing a segment. You just select your segment. So I could choose one of those pre-built ones, or I can come in here and do the one that I just created, which is this one. I don't know if it's done yet, but I'm going to click on it. And then it's still doing its thing. And then I can just hit send now or schedule that email out for later. And it's going to go out to just the people on my segmented list that have that criteria. All right. So now that's pretty much everything. So if they're again on more than one list in that, if we did a tag, they're only going to get it once. And the same thing with segment. If you've selected multiple lists in that criteria and you have somebody on multiple lists, again, it's only going to do once. We do remove all duplicates, which is really nice. So that's basically everything using your existing data to automatically create your targeted groups with our segment tool. And it's another great way to get started with segmentation. Now, as I mentioned, make sure to add all existing data that you have into your contacts and take advantage of the segmentation tool and tags to get started with your targeted marketing right away. Now, your constant contact plan does determine which of these features you have access to in your account. In order to see a breakdown of your plan, either to upgrade or downgrade, all you need to do is click on your name on the bottom left-hand side, or if you have the old version, it's top right-hand side, and then you can click on that and go to plans and pricing, and you'll be able to see. Now, most accounts do have the ability to do these different things. There just might be some slight differences based on your plan. All right, so now I'm going to go back into my presentation and get ready to wrap up here. Okay, so before we do wrap up, I want to summarize what we've discussed and address one common question that we get asked often, which is what's the difference between lists, tags, and segments? So while they all allow you to create groups of contacts, they are different and can be used differently. So at a minimum, you need to have a list. So you're going to want to add your contacts into at least one list. And you can think of your list as like a container holding your separate groups of contacts. There's something that you manually create either when uploading or on the contacts page when you're organizing them after they've been uploaded. As we did earlier, we did it a couple of different ways earlier. So you have options. And lists are also connected with your sign up forms. It can be public facing. So you want to make sure that you're giving them a good name when you send them out. If you're giving your contacts the option of what list they want to be a part of. Now, when sending out an email, you can send to one or more lists at a time, and if somebody is on more than one list, they will only get it once. Now, if you want to create subgroups for your contacts in these lists, that's where the tags and the segments are coming into play. So, tags are subgroups that you would manually create. You could think of them as like a label for that subgroup of contacts. And you can tag groups based on contact details that you've uploaded or anything else that you know about the customer. They are only seen internally, and customers cannot tag themselves from a sign up form. It's all something that you manage in the back end of the account. Now, as we just saw, when sending out an email, you can either narrow by tag or exclude a tag from that send. For an example, if a sporting goods store wants to have they have a big list with all their current customers in it, and they want to send out to people that are interested in sports like baseball, soccer, football, hockey, anything, right? But they are having a big sale on just baseball equipment. They want to send out to just people who are tagged with baseball so that everybody else doesn't get that promotion because it's not on the other items. Or if they're having a big sale on everything else except for baseball, they can exclude that tag. So that's one way you can manage that. Now, the last one is segments. So, segments, on the other hand, they do take less manual work from you and allow you to create groups based on multiple types of criteria, including contact activity, which again is determined for you automatically. Now, as we just saw in the demo, you don't need to go through your contacts one by one to find out who's been engaging with your emails and who hasn't. It can create a group of people who haven't clicked in an email in the last year, for an example. The only manual work that you need to do to create these segments is basically indicating what criteria that you want to segment by. And when sending out to an email to just a segment, you don't need to select a list at all. You can send directly to the segment and you can only send to one segment at a time. Also, the segment refreshes automatically before sending an email, so you never need to manually make any updates if your contacts end up taking a different action than what you specified in that criteria. So now that we've answered that that common question, I want to start to wrap up so that we can get to any other questions that you might all have. I know I've been answering a few as they've been coming through here. All right, so let's see here. Now, before I do, I want to recap a few items here before we jump into the questions. So it's important to start by determining the types of topics of relevant emails that you need to send out. This will help you to determine which segmentation strategy that you're going to want to use. And this will help to ensure that you're sending information that keeps people engaged and taking action from your emails. And next, make sure that you implement that segmentation options that we mentioned today. These are going to save you time and allow you to collect information that helps with your segmentation. And remember, you can use lists on your form to allow people to choose the type of content that they want to receive right from the beginning of the relationship with you. And you can choose click segmentation in your emails because when people click on a link, you know they're interested in that topic, product, or that service. And the last thing I want you to remember is that all the data that you collect in the self segmentation options in over time with your emails is going to really help improve your strategy. That segment tool within Constant Contact allows you to combine pieces of information to create the right groups that you can target with the right information. And don't forget, we are here to help you. Let's see here. So let me go ahead and get these questions answered. One quick second here. Let's see. I do have a few that came in. Let me go ahead and get those up here. Let me look. Oh, good question, Walter. Thank you. How do I edit a contact once I've uploaded them from a file and I want to add in more detail? As you mentioned, put more information helps with a segment. Perfect. Let me show you how to do that. So let me go ahead and bring this up here. Let me go back into the account. So in order to make any edits, I'm going to go back to the dashboard here. And I'm just going to bring up my contact page here. So if I come down here, I'm going to go to all contacts. And this is great. So if you've already like uploaded your list and you want to add a little bit more detailed information, you can do that. So if I'm on my contacts page, I could do it this way or open up a list and do it that way, but it's going to be the same process. So say for this contact here, they've moved. So if I click on their email address, it brings up the detailed page. Then all I need to do is edit my contact. Once I do that, I can either add them to a tag, I can create a tag. So maybe I want to click on that this person's canceled their membership. Maybe I want to do a custom field in here. So I could come down here, create a custom field, and I'm going to say location. I'm just going to write that in here, and then select a type and say text field, and then save it. So now I have a different custom field in here. Or I could type in the membership status active. I can add that. So all you have to do is get into that contact and you can make any changes. Maybe this person moved. So I can say, yeah, they're no longer here. They're over in Colorado. I can change it. But definitely get as much information as you want. So again, I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to discard everything here. But you just click on their email address and then you can make that edit to it. But great question. Thank you for that one. All right, so let's see what else we have coming through here. Here's a question from Mary Lou. Is there a way to get some kind of notification when somebody signs up? Like, will I get an email telling me that I have new people? Yes, you will. So to do that, let me just pull this up here. So if I'm on my contacts page, if you come over here to that menu bar, you should be able to do it in here. Hold on. They've changed it, so bear with me 1 second. I'm going to go through this with you. So if I go on this page, here it is. Yes, I was on the right page. So then I can say get notifications. So I click on that. And then I can say I want to get a weekly report on Sundays. And then I can select the email address I want it to go to. So if you're not already getting them, that's where you can change it. So again, you're on your contacts page, you click on that little menu, and then this is where you'll see it. Okay. But great question. Thank you for that one. Let's see. Okay, great, Jacqueline. Thank you for this one. If I already have a list I want to have on my sign up form, but it's not a very good public facing list, how do I change that name? Okay. So yeah, you want to make sure that your list that you're out there and people can sign up to makes sense to them, not just to you. So what you can do is go back to your contacts page. So I'm going to go to list here. I'm just going to jump right to list. I know I see that a lot. Like there's one in here. Hopefully I can have an example for it. You don't want to have a list out there for people to see that look like this, right? You don't want that. So if you need to change it, if you come over here to the three dots on the right, that's your menu. So if I click on that, I can just click here and rename it. And then it will bring up this, and then I just rename it. So like maybe I just took that off here. Okay, and then save it. It's going to change my list. And there you go. So yeah, you want to make sure that any list that you have out there that people can see look good. You want because you're representing yourself. You don't want to have something that looks like this out there, or master list or anything like that. So make sure you have good list names out on your forms. All right, I'm going to leave the question windows open, but we are at the top of the hour, so I'm going to start to finish wrapping up here so I don't miss out anything here. So I do want to let you know about our next upcoming webinar called Getting Started with Text Messaging with Constant Contact. It's a great next step to kind of go over adding in these features and registering for classes. You can do a text message. So I'm going to put a link in here that talks about that. So let me go ahead and grab that here. All right, so let me see. Let me put that promotion in here. Okay, so I put that up there. And don't forget, we are here to help you. So whether you need help putting together your marketing plan, coming up with somebody to do the work for you, we do have services for that. Um, there, it's our professional services section. So I'm going to add a link in there. Our rates do start as low as just $60 a month. And now on our website section, on our website, you're going to be able to see our professional services section. You'll see each of the different levels of service. And then from there, you can schedule a free service consultation. So if you want to check that out, I'm putting that link in here as well. All right. So now I do want to just finish this up here for you so you have everything. I want to ensure that you have all the resources that you might need as you're getting started with Constant Contact. So if you have any questions about the topics that we've discussed in today's session, or you want further guidance as you're getting started, we do have a variety of resources to help. So I'm also going to include that link in the follow up email along with the handout and the recording. Okay, so you'll get everything in a little while. And check out our new customer hub at constantcontact.com/get started to find quick video tutorials, our on-demand courses, more live webinars, and a link to ask a trainer drop-in sessions for instant answers and guidance. And you can also access the help link at the top right of your page to find even more resources such as our full knowledge base of FAQs, our guides, more tutorials, and even find information on how to contact our support team right from that help section. And also, we would love to get your feedback. So, when you close out of the webinar today, you're going to see a very short survey. I think it's only like 3 questions long. If you wouldn't mind, please take a few minutes to share your feedback with us. We want to know what you thought of the presentation, how it was presented, if there's something else you want to learn more about. Let us know. We make edits based on what our clients are looking for. So I only went over a few minutes here, but I do hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. We're almost halfway through, right? Ooh, no, we just started. But anyway, everybody have a wonderful day and hope to see you in the next webinar. Take care now. Bye.